Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trilbee, and today I'm here to present something that I'm pretty excited about. For the past few weeks, myself and Sam from Sam's Channel have been talking about doing a regular movie-related podcast together, and the other night we just thought, yeah, let's do it. So we recorded a test pilot podcast, which is available for you to listen to right now. You can find links to it below if you want to listen to it on SoundCloud or on my own website, it's your choice. But the test pilot is called the Die Hard Scale, and if you want to find out why it's called that, then listen to the podcast. We talk about the success of Jurassic World, the new Batman v Superman pictures, Star Trek, the Monopoly movie, the trailers for Creed, Steve Jobs, Legend, we review Minions, Sam reviews Terminator Genisys, and we answer user-submitted topics and questions. What we need from you folks is feedback in order to know if this is something that you'd like to see become a regular thing. Myself and Sam had a great time recording this, so this is something we would want to do, but we also want to know what you folks would want to see improved or changed. We also need a title. We're two white British men talking about films, so what should we call the podcast? Me and Sam have no idea, but maybe you guys and girls have some really good ideas or contributions, so please sound off in the comment section. And to give a quick taste of what to expect on the podcast, here in this video is a segment from the podcast where we talk about Jurassic World and its run-in with the BBFC. Enjoy! Oh, and if you're not subscribed to Sam's channel already on YouTube, then fix that. I'll put a link below in the description. He's a great guy, does great work, so give him a watch. Enjoy the podcast. While we were talking about the massive success of Jurassic World, with success comes controversy. And what happens when you take a bunch of 5, 6 or 7-year-olds to see Jurassic World?
Yeah.
They get traumatised, apparently. There were so many complaints that David Cook, the director of the British Board of Film Classification, the BBFC, had to issue a quite lengthy statement on the Huffington Post website talking about why they have a 12A certificate. And for those of you outside the UK who don't know, 12A means that the classification board have said that people over the age of 12 can watch the film, and if you're under the age of 12 you can watch it, but you need to have a parent or guardian, because not all 12-year-olds are the same and the parents should decide, yada yada yada. So
it's such bullshit, man. This whole situation. If you I think it's I'm surprised they had to put something out about it.
Like, it's because it's popular, it's an easy target.
Yeah. Did you watch Mark Commode's thing about it?
That's actually how I heard about this story.
Okay.
Yeah, and I it's annoying because I sort of remember when the 12A actually first came out. It was around the time of the first Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
And that was the first movie I saw that was 12A.
Right.
And I actually remember when Green Goblin at the end says, "Now that you've really pissed me off." I remember people gasping in the theatre.
Really?
He said the P word! I'm not kidding.
I remember seeing X-Men 2 and Wolverine saying shit and no one kicking up a fuss.
Yeah, well, you know, piss and shit, you know, it's different levels of controversy.
Oh yeah, two very different acts.
Of course, yeah, and from two very different holes, you know. But anyway, this is a movie podcast, not a biology podcast. Yeah. So what's your stance on, like, do you think Jurassic World was a 12A movie, or do you think it should have been bumped up to 15?
Oh, no way. I think people are getting into a big huff over nothing. I mean, it's if you've seen the original Jurassic World, which I'm fairly certain was a PG.
I think all of them are PGs.
Yeah, if you've seen that, and bear in mind, I think perhaps Jurassic World is a little more brutal than the original. But I mean, even the original had blood and stuff. But you've got dinosaurs. You know they're going to be wreaking havoc and eating people. Yeah. And I think you've got to not know what you're going into to have these complaints in the first place. I mean, I'll give you some context. Dinosaurs in general, I couldn't handle when I was younger. I mean, we went to go see Disney's Dinosaur. I can't remember when that came out.
2000, I think.
2000, yeah. I couldn't sit through the opening. It was so the whole dinosaurs roaring. I burst out crying, and they had to take me out. Yeah. So I mean,
hey, no shame. I couldn't watch Nightmare Before Christmas when I was younger.
There you go.
No shame, no shame.
And I mean, it's just a case of you've got to know prior if your kid can handle dinosaurs. Really, I mean, show them Jurassic Park. you know, before they see Jurassic World or something. I don't know.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, you are the one taking responsibility for it, and yeah, and they can't be blamed. You know, they give you the responsibility.
Yeah, and the BBFC, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for
definitely.
They've been doing this for a long time, and although there was one moment in Jurassic World that made me think this is pretty edgy for 12A, it was when what's the name of the assistant?
When I have no idea, but I know exactly the part you're on about.
It was specifically when the pterodactyls or whatever, because they're not pterodactyls technically, but you know what I mean.
That particularly went down a Jaws kind of route, which I really liked. I loved that moment.
It was the bit when she went into the water, they came down, and one of them lifted her back out of the water and started chomping her a bit.
She does a big gasp for air and stuff, and it's just a bit brutal.
Yeah, that was the moment that I thought, whoa, that's actually... If there was like a 13 certificate, just for that moment, you have to pause the film and like put blindfolds on the kids, and then it plays again.
Yeah, I mean, I like that moment, but I understand that was a little more brutal. But I'm
still not a 15.
Still not 15.
Yeah.
No way.
To
Definitely
quote David Cook in this article, he says, "What Jurassic World shows is a film firmly at the 12A level, not close to the 15 borderline." Which is absolutely correct. Like, even though that moment was a bit. I wouldn't say excessive, but a bit brutal. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not close to 15. Like, there's no blood or anything, and it's CGI obscured.
I mean, there's a couple shots. There's a couple spray blood shots, but I mean that's nothing. You've got even more of that. I mean, you've got fucking Samuel L. Jackson's arm in the original.
You do,
you know, landing, and that would scar me if I were 5.
Yeah,
but I mean. This just got me thinking. Does the firm 12 certificate even exist anymore?
Not anymore. No, not since.
Because that's never occurred to me until just now.
Not since at least 2001 when the first Spider-Man came out.
Wow. Okay.
He says in the article how long it's been going on for. Okay, they consulted the public in 2002 about it, so it must have been going on for about a year so they could consult them and get the data for it.
Right,
so 2001.
Okay.
That's
so weird. I remember seeing a firm layout of all the ratings and seeing 12A, 12, and that's unbelievable. Maybe, I can't believe I've never caught on to that before.
Yeah, maybe for a time they did exist concurrently before completely gutting the 12.
Yeah, they probably... Well, clearly they've phased it out.
Yeah, but like, speaking of Mark Kermode, as I mentioned earlier, in his review of Big Hero 6, he mentioned that a parent emailed in and they said that they wanted to know if Big Hero 6 was suitable for kids because it was like... It's got a bit of a traumatizing opening. So what the parent did was that they went to the theatre, watched it themselves, and thought, this isn't appropriate for my child, so I'm not going to take them to see it. And that's something that more parents should probably do. Like, if they are concerned, or if the BBFC website doesn't have enough information for them, then they should check it themselves, if they've got the disposable income.
Yeah, and also if they've got the time.
Oh, yeah, of course, because, adults, although, speaking of BBFC, I'm going to read out their details for their reasoning for the 12A rating for Avengers Age of Ultron. I love it.
Go on.
Okay, for violence. And this is word for word. And I just love how straight-faced they are with it.
I think I know this, but go on. I think I've read this.
Okay, this is for Avengers Age of Ultron. There are frequent scenes of moderate fantasy violence in which various characters, some of whom have special powers, fight each other or battle an army of robots. Action includes use of guns, futuristic weaponry, punches, kicks, a bow and arrow, and a hammer. I love that on the DVD. That is the plot description. One of them has a hammer.
Someone had to have been snickering when they wrote that.
Well, they've got to be so straight-faced about it. Like they're not lying.
And a hammer.
There's also there is a scene in which a man's arm is cut off, although this occurs out of shot and no bloody detail is seen. In one sequence, a photograph of a dead man is briefly visible with the word "peace" written in blood on the wall behind him. So, okay, there is occasional use of mild bad language: bastard, shit, dick, son of a bitch, piss, and innuendo. including a joke about a man lifting a heavy object, not being able to get it up.
Oh my god.
This is word for word.
Because kids are, of course, going to catch on to that.
But, you know, parents would complain if they were like, there was an erection joke and the BBFC didn't let me know.
God.
Oh.
It's like people complaining about The Simpsons having adult jokes.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was just fun to read out.
That is brilliant.
Okay, speaking of superhero movies...